So it's dawn on a Monday morning, and whilst most people are commuting to their offices, this, I guess, is my office. I'm just sat in a car park in the Lake District, actually waiting for a special guest to arrive. Today's vlog and probably the next couple of vlogs are going to be with a fellow landscape photographer and YouTuber who most of you will know. So he's due here shortly. But with regards to photography, this morning looks really good, and let me tell you, this is the calm before the storm, as ex-Hurricane Ophelia heads right for us, and it's forecast to hit this afternoon. So any photography that we get done this morning, I expect maybe the last of it, even though we're here for a few days. No, we never say never. You know, where there's a storm, we will photograph. And where there is rain, we will prosper. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But for this morning, I'm waiting for my special guest to arrive, and then we're going to hopefully head into the woods and see what we can find.
I would just like to say at this point that this video is sponsored by Squarespace. If you need a website, go to squarespace.com/Heaton. Now, with that being said, I need to tell you something, and that is that it started to rain. It started to rain quite heavy. I was hoping for a few more hours of dry weather. So if this is just a passing shower, then I'm confident we'll get a shot. But if this continues and gets heavier and heavier, we might have to abandon ship. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So we might have found our first composition here. The rain has also stopped for now, so we are, or should be able to get this shoot. So you can see the composition I'm working with here. We have a lovely tree in full peak autumn colours, vibrant yellow leaves. The landscape is just yellow and golden. It's actually rather beautiful. We have lovely atmosphere and a lovely even landscape to work with, so there's no harsh highlights. We've got lovely detailed skies above the valley in the background. We've got, generally there's some like mist in the air, not too much, but I would just say a nice touch of atmosphere and a gorgeous composition. So this image actually has a lot going for it. I'm probably speaking too soon because I haven't actually taken the photograph or looked through my camera yet, and there are a few compositional things I really need to work out, but first impressions are excellent. So I'm about set up now. I've got my polarizer on, which makes a subtle difference, but what it does is it just cuts through some of the glare and really makes the colours pop. It just adds a bit more contrast, which is really nice. Another thing you might notice here is I've raised the center column of my tripod. By raising it up 8 inches or so, just lifts the top of that tree away from the sky. And that makes a big difference. So these minor shifts in your composition really can make a huge difference. This now is shaping up to be quite a nice image. My general mantra with landscape photography is just keep things simple. And here we have a lovely classic composition. Almost feels to me like a watercolor painting. We've got a tree on the third, a smaller tree on the other third. We've got a lovely bit of interest in the background with the castle crag and a tiny hint of mountains in the far distance. So I'm going to grab the shot. I am on f9 ISO 100, a 5-second exposure. So people always ask me about focusing and where do you focus? How do you get depth of field front to back? It's a difficult subject, you know, it's a subject a lot of people struggle with. And it all very much depends on the image and the composition of the lens and the camera system that you're using. But in this case, there's no immediate foreground interest. The main interest is that tree, which is about 30 meters away. So in this case, f9, I'm focusing on the tree and I'm not worrying about the rest. The background is going to be a lovely palette of soft colors and subtle tones. It doesn't need to be crisp, pin sharp. Although saying that, it's going to be plenty sharp, trust me. Anyway, there's stuff happening now. I feel there's a slight ambient glow, the background's looking nice. So f9, 5 seconds, focus on the tree, take the image. I need to go find Simon. Simon! Simon's gone off without me and he's about a mile away up a hill, so I'm gonna have to go find him. Right, I'm coming. Found Simon. Also found the rain. It's absolutely chucking it down, so it looks like we got that image just in time. Right, yeah, I think I need to move on because I was foolish and didn't bring a waterproof jacket. Oh, it's still absolutely chucking it down. So I've had to come and seek shelter under this old oak tree. Whilst finding shelter, I also found a composition, and this is a really nice one. Conditions are so nice, although it's chucking it down, it's still lovely and moody, and so long as you can kind of get a bit of shelter and make sure your camera's okay, then it shouldn't be too much of a problem. So I'm just, oh God, my bag's soaking. I'm just covering my, excuse, 1 second. Okay, so that's that done. Right, let me talk you through this composition. Got a few things to say about this. I mean, first things first is the colour that's attracting me. We have basically a small group of birch trees with these gorgeous yellow colours. You can just see them here through the mist, and it just makes for a wonderful composition. Now, I did move around, walk left a bit, walk right a bit, just trying to line everything up, and I've finally settled on a vertical composition, and I'm going in quite tight. Now, I love the image. I really like the image. But there is one thing that bothers me, one thing that really bothers me, and that is just to the right of the main tree, the main subject, is this stump. Now, I'm not sure if that stump adds to the composition or if it detracts from it, but my initial thinking, my initial gut feeling is that it actually detracts from the image. So we've got lovely contrast with the yellow leaves against the dark background. No filters because it's chucking it down. Now, one tip I actually want to give you guys, I just want to add, just a bit of advice. Now, the ground I'm stood on is very spongy. It's basically a bog, so the slightest movement from me shakes the tripod. I don't have spikes, unfortunately. Perhaps that's something I should get. So there is always a risk of motion blur. You may not realize it. So you might take an image, say a 1 second exposure, and not realize that your camera's actually shaking. So what I like to do is, in situations on boggy ground or windy weather or anything like that, anything with movement, I like to zoom in 10 times on the live view, and then you can actually physically see when it stops shaking. And once it stops shaking, you can then take your image. And then you know that the image is not going to suffer from any kind of motion blur. So this is gorgeous. Conditions are just about right. We've got some lovely ambient light, a lovely sort of subdued misty background, nice colour, nice subject, nice composition. I'm going to take the photograph and definitely try to dry out. I need a coffee. I feel so much better after a nice lunch, nice coffee. Right, we've arrived at our hotel now. Me and Simon are staying at this hotel for the next couple of days, and this is actually the same hotel that we are staying at on our workshop. So this is where us and all of the guests will be staying, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's right on Grasmere. You can see it just over there. So it's perfectly situated for access to the lakes. So from this location here, we should be able to go to some gorgeous locations that are just a stone's throw away. Really excited to check out the hotel, see if it is actually any good, although I'm sure it will be. But it's always good to check these things. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Very, very happy with this hotel so far. Not only does it seem quite luxurious, it's also quite possibly in one of the best locations around, so very, very accessible for all the photographic stuff. So happy to be running the workshop from here in February. Right, I think I'm going to call it. I checked the weather before in reception, and the storm is on its way. It's due to hit any time now. I think in a couple of hours the winds are going to be 50, 60 mile an hour. So, but for now I'm just going to end the episode here. Have a rest, have a shower, and just chill out. So thank you so much for watching. I also really want to thank Squarespace, who have continued to support my channel. I don't know why. But yeah, they're a massive help. So if you do need a website, you're considering a website and you don't want to code your own, consider going to squarespace.com/Heaton and start a free trial and have a look at the templates and see if it works for you. And if it does work and you're happy and you want to spend some money, use the offer code Heaton for 10% off your first purchase. Alright, thanks for watching and bye for now.